Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and you're very welcome to episode number 17 of Vision, where every single episode I sit down with a different collector and discuss the past, the present, and the future of their collecting journey. This next guy, you just can't not but like him. I've only met him for the last few weeks. He's become a kind of an anchor now at this stage in Collecting Lounge International on 1/6 Scale Man's channel every Sunday. He's of my own vintage, so he's a massive Batman fan, and 1989, we're obviously going to talk about that because we're obviously very happy about that because we thought that was the reissue that was not coming. All we need now is that DX08 Jack Nicholson Joker. And there's another topic that we're definitely going to discuss because we have a mutual respect for this particular. I'm not even going to give it away. I just want to let it happen naturally later on because he doesn't even know what it is. I mentioned it backstage. I got to bring this guy in. Very nice guy. Well, you're very welcome to the channel. Reviews with Rich, or Collectibles with Rich. Which one do you tend to go by?
Rich.
Rich with Rich.
It's Reviews with Rich. I have set myself a bit of a rod for my own back, setting up two separate Instagrams. I might just merging the two together. But it's Collectibles, Reviews with Rich. And okay. Reviews with Rich is like me, movies side. And so I've made it complicated. I'm sorry.
And I just want to make sure that I have everything. I like to have I like to be organized. I like to have all my ducks in a row. And I like to make sure that my guests get the plug, which they absolutely deserve. So could you just correct, the YouTube channel is Reviews with Rich? Sorry, Reviews with Rich?
Yes.
Right. And is that your Instagram handle, or it's one of them, yeah?
That's one of them, and that's the main one I'm sticking to for this kind of stuff. Yeah,
brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got it right. So I'm happy enough with that. So if you
by the way,
sorry, go on.
Sorry, thank you so much for that lovely introduction. That was really nice. That was really you put my nerves to rest. That was lovely. Thank you.
Listen, man, it's just I just call it like it is. Are you on Collectors Lounge International with us? Yes. Are you an anchor? Pretty much a staple now. Yes. Oh. Do you like Batman 89? Yes. Are you a nice guy yet? There's no lying, there's no embellishing. Don't be modest. That's just calling it like I see it.
Appreciate
it. I'm just in case anyone's watching. Now we got 17 in already. That's pretty good, and that's like, for my channel, that's a good number. So I really do appreciate that. Anyone who's watching here, if you haven't done so already, please follow Reviews with Rich. It's on the bottom of the banner. It's on the screen now. Sorry, it's on the banner on the bottom of the screen now, so there's no excuses, folks. Help the guy out, and he's got great content, some of which I was watching today, which I will touch on later on. And you can follow him. I just want to make sure the banner comes on. It's on Instagram at collectibles_reviews_with_rich. So it's collectible reviews with Rich with the underscores. I'm going to trust the chat before we get started. Carlito, how are you? Great to see Carlito back. Again, just have to kind of recognize the people that are regularly in these streams, whether it's my stream or any other content creator stream. But I definitely notice a lot of time I do a stream and that there's the same few people coming up and just interacting with the chat. It makes a big difference. Thank you, Commander Green. Hey, Focus and Reviews at Rich. Again, another person who's always there. This man,
go.
When this guy's here, or even when he's on the panel or when he's in the chat, you don't need to plug your channel. He does it for you. Thank you very much, Lou. Really appreciate that. Small bit of wine today on a Monday. What's poppin', people? Just about to discuss the past, the present, and the future of Rich's collecting journey. Evening, gents and fellow collectors. UK Sit, how are you? Brandon Salad says, "Let's go, hit the sub."
Thanks, bud.
For both of us, get us there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hello, Focus and Rich. Trevor Weed, how are you? Trevor Weed was on one of the live streams last week, and it was his first time catching one of the live streams we did live, and now I feel like he hasn't missed one, so he's in the good books anyway.
Oh, good man.
Shane and Rich, two awesome guys in the community. Thank you, appreciate that. Loco Lou, I love when there's conversation in the chat as well, in between the chat, because sometimes you go to read something out and it's like, oh, they're not asking us that. What question wasn't for me? So I was like, sorry lads, I didn't mean to intrude. People just saying hello to Lou. Ryan Smith.
Hey Ryan,
UK gentleman. That be right?
Mhm.
But you know him
We've
through groups,
interacted a lot
actually?
on Facebook and stuff, and he's a good guy.
Excellent. And a big Batman fan, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But what about this? Patrick Connolly, have you seen the new M-Toys third-party Joker? Have you seen that?
I have, yes. Impressive, actually. I've got DX08 anyway, but I'm going to get this one as well because it's got the beret and it's got the art gallery look as well, and I think that would look pretty awesome. I didn't get the M-Toys, the other version, in hand, but by all accounts, it's pretty good.
I have to say, as far as third-party goes, they're quite nice, but I think if they're reissuing the DX09, which... we'll talk about that. We're definitely going to address it. I think if I was to pay retail on that, I'd be happy, and I could justify working backwards for a DX08. How many collectors have the exact same plan now? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
They're going to start creeping up, and they're already expensive.
Oh yeah.
Leighton Richards, hey guys, hello to you. Loco Luke, do what the man says. Just do what the man says. Hit that like button. Afternoon, guys. DT Artman, Bob Dylan, hit it twice.
OBD.
Yeah, all I need, I was just, I did a call out, did a shout out yesterday. Just an update there. I'm 19 subs away from the big 1K. I love what happened. It'd be great if it happened on a live stream.
How nice would that be?
Could even be
That'd
tonight.
Be so
you never know.
That'd be so nice.
Collector Chris, hello everyone. Hello to you. Thanks for being here. Loco, keeping the chat going. Thank you. Bob Dylan, Commander Green. Eddie Rodriguez, hello. How are you? Got Carrie. Oh, Loco Lou. It's Savon Mason. I love seeing how different people approach collecting. Fact. And I feel privileged even like I don't know, like just it's nice. I feel privileged that people actually come on the show and I get to hear their stories because no two have been the same.
Absolutely.
I've missed a few, but I do my best. No problem. Yeah, you got to work, you got to live, man. Thanks for being here. Ryan Smith look at that Batman display. He's very impressed by your DC and Batman setup.
Thank you very much, Ryan. Thank you.
Yes, they will reissue the DX08 right after they put up. I don't think they're reissuing that. Yeah, you're right, man. We're definitely in agreement there, Bob. I don't think the M1's happening, and I don't think there's a reissue of the DX08. Apparently, it's common knowledge that they lost the Nicholson license, and he's an expensive guy.
Expensive guy.
Anthony Wagstaff, how are those pre-orders going, my friend? I think Anthony was in the chat. I think it was last Friday night when I had the Ben Thomas show on, and he said he's oh, thank you. He's a nice fella as well, Ben. But Anthony said he dropped 6K over the last few months in pre-orders. So I'm wondering how those pre-orders are going.
Oof.
So people keep saying that Hot Toys lost the likeness rights to Nicholson. Any truth to that, guys? Well, I heard it from Joao. Joao's based in China. He has like connections there, and to be honest, he knows his stuff. Like it's I would trust Joao when he says it, but like I suppose there's nothing to say that they can't get it back. Or maybe
that's all.
Yeah, it just cost. Yeah. 1/6 figure focus. When are you getting the Power Rangers figures? They're so clean. Yeah, man, they're clean, but I just think they were a bit after my time. I was like a teenager when they're kind of coming out, or maybe like just about to turn a teenager. I was never floated my boat, man.
Yeah, me and my brother used to watch it a little bit. We watched it when White Ranger, obviously Green Ranger died and then came back as White Ranger. I remember my brother just absolutely going crazy, a couple of years younger than me, and he just ran around the living room just so happy. So it's just, hey, Will.
Could be worth Will for that. We have a celebrity in the house, Will Fox.
Yes.
Will Foxification, thanks very much for watching this. I really do appreciate it. Will Fox, I'll always, I say this repeatedly and over and over and over again, but I don't care. I'm still, it's just that it was just a good day. Super Bowl Sunday. Will was doing his live stream a bit earlier to allow people, I think, to watch the Super Bowl. And I was in the collection room just organizing stuff, and I was listening to him and Lael, and the Wonder Twins were on. There was Anthony, there was Jay, and El Profesoro Mario.
Yeah.
And I commented, and I think Lael said, "Oh yeah, this guy has a YouTube channel. You should follow his stuff." Like, so I always like those magnificent seven. I always have kind of like respect and loyalty.
So much respect for those guys.
Yeah.
They're the next generation of collectors that are going to be like the A-force of them. I'm not blowing smoke, Will, but this is your fault. Prime one here, just saying that.
Will enabled you.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, but like with like obviously Justin and Ryan Jeddah, they obviously kind of really pushed it to the forefront. And I think people like Leal and Will and all those other guys that you mentioned there are just absolute legends in my mind. And they're always so wonderful when I've been speaking to them. They've been reaching out to me just here and there, just chatting, and it's just really great. So I really appreciate that.
The community, like, let's face it, the community is like 99% good. Like, I mean, it's a great place. Like, but like, yeah, there's always one or two. I see two very handsome men on screen. I think he's talking about you, and it's the Boba, it's the head sculpt. I just love it. So thanks very much for being here. Will definitely really appreciate it. And Will's actually going to be on an episode of Visions. We have it penciled in. It's in the diary. It's a Sunday, and it is. Oh, I haven't scheduled it yet, but it's a Sunday in August. I think it's Sunday the 13th, but it's going to be put up, and I will promote, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
Anthony picked up Tony Stark mechanic today. Carlito, how are you? Showing your age. I absolutely am, man. I'm 40 next year, man. I'm just accepting it. Like, you know, I
hit 40 in January, just gone. So
yeah, so you're there. You've been there, done that.
Yes.
Just another year, man.
So it is.
Well, if Batman 89 sells well, that might justify to pay for those likeness rights. Yeah, it's true, man, because like I honestly don't know. Like, I don't pretend to know exactly how the licensing works. I think like it's a kind of a thing that you'd have to. I get the gist of it is the agent of Jack Nicholson does some sort of a negotiation with Hot Toys, their representative, their people talk to his people type of thing, and they work out a price or whatever. I imagine that's in a nutshell. I know it's an oversimplification,
basically,
but
yeah, that's basically what it is. Yeah.
Like I think that's when I'd take the risk of the reissue on. If I had the DX09 for retail, if they do put it up, I think I would go back and hunt down the DX08 because, like, if they do reissue it, I'd be like, okay, I'll take the hit on that.
Like, I have the mime version and I have the purple coat Joker, both of which I got for a pretty good deal last year. One from my buddy Luke. I can't remember the one I got the one from, but they were pretty cheap, about 500 for together. I paid, 250 quid each. Yeah.
For the DX.
Yes.
9, 8, and 9.
Yes.
When did you get them?
Last year.
How? Like
it's a very good friend.
Right place, very good friend.
Right place, right time. I do him deals. He does me deals. But genuinely, and they are, not to step on what we're going to be asking and stuff, but they're like the crown jewel of my collection in 6 scale.
I'm not
They're
surprised.
perfect. They're absolutely perfect. Even that mime one. I mean, it was a bit battered when I got him. And the whole background and all the kind of diorama piece, it looks great. I haven't got him in here because I don't want him fading in the conservatory, which is where I'm filming at the moment. So but he's in storage at the moment. But yeah, they're amazing pieces. If you can get a chance to get them, do.
I think it's that's all I could say. Oliver Pilgrim, thanks for being here. Shane, I got my snow speeder Luke today. Just wow, yeah. It's again, if I started talking about that, I'd actually never get around to asking this man in front of me some questions. It is a fantastic figure, and I'm very, very happy. It just pops in the shelf. Andre, the more third parties that knock off the Nicholson Joker, hopefully the easier it'll be. Yeah, that's a solid point. We've seen a lot of that. I'll take the blame for that, Rich. Laugh out loud.
You should. Yeah.
My pre-orders. Hey, Will Fox Vacation. These are his pre-orders. Armorized Deadpool, Iron Patriot, Groot plus Rocket, Tactical Batman, Superman, Justice League, Cyborg, Harley Quinn, Flash, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Carnage, Venom, Spider-Man Integrated Suit, Loki, Endgame. I hope you like beans and toast, my friend. Oh god, there's more. That was only one of two. Goblin, that's a long list.
A lot there.
A lot of lists,
yeah.
you know, but look,
there.
there's some great figures there too. Paid 80 for Tony Stark Mechanic. Good deal. Absolutely, yeah.
Great deal.
Who'd you get that with? You must have had some points to go through there or something, but that's, yeah. Turning 50 in December. Ah, man, you're as old as you feel. The Don Prime. Hello, the Don Prime. The Don Prime has a Irish rugby jersey which he bought in Shannon. And Shannon is a little airport town, and that's where I'm from. And I noticed this because he was streaming with Nate one evening on Geeking Out, and I saw him and I was like, "Oh, hey man, you're wearing an Irish rugby jersey." And he goes, "Yeah, I got that Shannon." I was like, "That's literally where I'm from." So it's yeah. How are you, man? The Don Prime. Glad you're here. Third Party 89 Joker announced. Yeah, we were just talking about it. It looks good. Patrick says, "Wow, that's probably in response to the pre-orders." I managed to get DX08 for 300. That is a steal as well.
I saw that on eBay. I think it was down as 320, and I think it was opening to offers. I did a cheeky offer because I thought, why the hell not? And just in case I get an extra one, because it is beautiful.
Yeah. Was up for 120, offered 80, being cheeky, and the guy accepted it. Yeah, sometimes you've nothing to lose. Like, you know what I mean? If you offer the price that they offer, they'll take it. But if you offer like under it, like everyone knows, like selling 101, you want to sell something for 300. You put it up for 350 or 330. You don't say 300 because people are going to undercut you anyway. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I don't know. Maybe that's wrong. But most I spent was 400 for the Joker DX12. The DX12 is Batman, I believe.
Batman, yeah.
Yeah, maybe it was the DX11.
It was DX11 or 13, I think it is, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so look, we're about to start, but I'm going to throw you right into the deep end here. You know?
Go on.
All right, folks, you know the drill. Just in case you just joined us, you're watching episode 7 of Visions. Every single episode, I sit down with a different collector and discuss the past, the present, and the future of their collecting journey. Right now, we're sitting down with Reviews with Rich. If you haven't subbed to Reviews with Rich on YouTube, it's really easy. You go to YouTube, you're on it right now, type Reviews with Rich, and then give him a sub there. He does excellent content, including some things we will touch on later on. I'm going to ask you a sticky one. I think all of these questions, bar maybe one or two. Yeah, I think I revamped the questioning, bar one or two for you.
Okay.
Do you like craft beers by any chance?
I've tried them. Is this the question?
No, I'm just
okay.
a warm-up question.
No, they're all right. Yeah. I've tried one or two. Yeah, they're all right.
Would you say?
I look at them.
See, I'm a big craft beer fan, but I just think that there's so many of them out there. And the market's kind of become a bit saturated. Like, there's all sorts of different flavors and types, and there's only a few that I really go back to. So my point is that the question is, I think the superhero movie genre is a bit like the craft beer genre. There's so many of them out there, and maybe there's only a certain percentage that are actually quality good films. My question to you is just, do you think the superhero genre movie, do you think that genre has become saturated? Are we getting a lot more but sacrificing quality? What do you think?
I think it's now 10 a penny. There's a tremendous well of amazing stories that have yet to be told on film, TV. You got to look at The Boys, how good that was. Have you seen that watch, by the way? Yeah, season 3. Yeah. I haven't finished it yet, but I'm
saving season 3. I'm putting that away, and I have no spoilers. I'm saving that one.
It's so good
for a
day.
So
Yeah. I remember being on a plane flying to Cincinnati with work, and I was watching the first season with the plane crash when they go on the I was like, turn off my iPad. I'm not watching that. Don't want people on my shoulder watching that. It was on my own iPod. It wasn't on.
Oh, right. Yeah, they definitely don't allow that.
Yeah. But to answer your question, I don't think. I think there's a lot of stories to be told. I do believe with what's happened recently with Marvel, you won't go back to as many, in my opinion, as you would say a Dark Knight, as you would the Batman. I'm not biased because of this. I'm Marvel and DC.
No, 50, you're just 50, speaking 50, my language, Rich.
Yeah,
keep talking.
Yeah. Well, it's true. Well, like it's like with any film. Like if I was to go back. If I was to put a film on, I would go back and watch like The Godfather or just anything like that, really a quality classic film. And I think there's going to be films like Logan, like I said, The Batman, Dark Knight, Batman Begins, I still absolutely adore. There's a lot of quality out of the comic book genre. And I think it's amazing that more and more people have access to the comic book movie genre but there is going to be a 10 a penny. The amount of people that say to me, when's the next Marvel film out? And I'm like, well, it's not Marvel, it's DC that's out next. And they're like, no, they just mean comic book film.
Yeah.
That is now, they don't get the difference between the two, which is fine, no problem. But like, I think there's more and more stories to be told. I do think they need to go out of their comfort zone a bit more. But there's so much out there. I mean, you watch Invincible?
No, but I've heard good things. It's on the list.
Oh,
it's the animated season,
right.
yeah.
The animated series, right? Okay. Quick tip. Everybody else has probably seen this, but watch the first episode. You're like, all right, this is okay. Credits come on. 2 minutes in, there's an after credit scene, and it blows everything out of the water, and it's just unbelievable quality. It's fantastic. So it's based on Image Comics, and it's just fantastic. I can't say anything. I don't want to spoil anything. Watch the first episode, watch that scene, and then you just know you're in for a ride. And it's absolutely quality. So with stuff like that, if they are making more and more content like that, I think we're in safe hands. I think if they keep doing more stuff like Love and Thunder, where it's like junk food, like Chinese food, you'll feel a bit full for a minute, and then you're like, sorry, did I just eat? I feel hungry again. So kind of like jumping on your the beer analogy.
But craft beer and Chinese food go so well together, though. So.
Yeah, well, absolutely, I can believe that. But yeah, so that's right.
So what I'm getting from you there is there is a lot of stories to be told, so you're happy enough that they're still making them, but there's only a certain number that you'll go back and rewatch. Yeah, definitely. I mean, like Infinity War and Endgame, I would put them on every day if I could. Can we lose you, Rich?
Pardon? Oh no.
I think you froze, then I froze briefly.
Okay.
So you said Infinity War? I think you were giving me some examples.
Yeah. Infinity War and Endgame, I could go back and watch every day. Honestly, I adore those films.
First Iron Man.
Civil War.
No Way
Winter
Home,
Soldier. No Way Home, Winter Soldier, stuff like that. And Civil War, by the way, I still think is hugely underrated. Robert Downey Jr. has never been better acting-wise than that. I think he's just fantastic. He's just the emotion that's in his eyes is just he's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna miss him.
I get you. Even I always find that scene where he looks a bit malnourished in Endgame, and he just rips off his arc reactor and hands it the cap and then collapses. Like at some point if you're an actor, you're a serious actor and you're in the suit and stuff, at some point you probably have to, your mind probably wanders and you look around to your co-stars going, jeez, this is ridiculous, but he took it so seriously and he nailed it so well that it was like, it made it seem real. We need more of that quality
100%.
acting. And
I do believe that the Marvel Cinematic Universe is dying for a couple of leaders at the moment.
Well, you know what, that's what
leaders.
That's what I'm really hoping that Black Panther will provide us, because I think I was definitely the kind of more placid one on the panel yesterday when asked about it. Like, no doubt I got that emotion off the trailer, but I'm more kind of going, okay, Eternals was a dud. Now, it's only my personal opinion. Shang-Chi didn't do it for me. Multiverse of Madness didn't do it for me. Thor didn't do it for me. I loved No Way Home, but this has to be good. And you know, like it's so much. There's so much importance that's going into it. Like, you know, you have the unfortunate passing of Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace. They got to respect him and his legacy. They got to respect the characters. They got to respect the entire cast. And I just hope the tone of the trailer was right there. But I'm hoping that this one is going to be like the next Marvel film that we just like that blew me away. Like, you know what I mean? I think
with fandom, and I'm not going to speak for everybody here and on the comments and everything, but we are all very judgmental. We all want our shows and our Star Wars, our Marvel, our DC to be top of the tree, everything. And if there's a slight misstep, people are like, oh my God, this has happened. And oh my God, Obi-Wan's this. Oh my God, Star Wars is this. And then suddenly there's something amazing. And then someone starts getting all excited again. That's what's happened with Marvel, where like every man and the dog pretty much said the last couple have not been great, myself included. I did not enjoy Love and Thunder. I had fun with Love and Thunder.
I'm just calling like I see it personally. Like I don't jump to anyone's.
No.
You know.
Obviously, I'm not saying yourself, but I'm saying like a lot of people within fandom go, "Oh my God, Marvel's done. That's it now. Marvel's done. I'm not going to watch it anymore," and all this kind of crap. It's like you don't believe them.
I've seen the posts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I've seen all that, and it's the same with Hot Toys. It's the same with any kind of fandom. There's that. Me and Lael speak about this a lot, where there's that toxicity within fandom. And where people get so emotional and so carried away, where, wait a minute, they're running a business. Of course, they're going to spend £100,000, say, for example, on a likeness and use that and put a figure out. Just because it's not what you wanted, so what? Do you know what I mean? They're looking to make money, and but they will. They have to cater for everybody as much as possible, and they can't just cater for a select few, a very vocal few, I might add, which there's nothing wrong with being vocal about it. I'm being vocal right now, but at the same time, it's kind of like being nice about it, being positive. Oh, this is a good thing for whomever might like this property or whomever might like that. That's great, and I think it's important for the comic book genre not to get diluted, and it's the same with any type of movies now. Yeah, where it was gangster films, where it was westerns in the 50s and 60s, they died down eventually because they became the same. They were very samey, and we need to avoid that. It's just to go back to your question. I hope they introduce more and more types of different stories. Again, there's a tremendous well of stories that they can go back to and into, whether Marvel, Image, DC, all these stories that have been told. They can tell them on the big screen and do it with heart, and rather than just the Marvel way of just kind of, it's all normal and really good, and then there's a big action sequence where the bad guy goes a bit weird at the end, and it's all too CGI, which is what's happened of late. And like with Multiverse of Madness, for example, I didn't feel anything from that film.
Nothing.
But I felt a ton from Maverick and Batman and the trailer for Black Panther 2. So it's hoping they're learning. I'm sure they are. Yeah,
you see, for me, I'm a film fan first.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm a collector second. And what I loved about Brendan Riley yesterday chatting to him was he's like a comic book man first, collector second. So we're kind of similar but different in that stage, because I get the film was the thing that dragged me into these worlds and these characters and excited me so much and exhilarated me so much. And I was like, I want to have something like in my room that represents that particular character, because I just I think we all tie to those feelings and those nostalgia But like for me, it's like, I think maybe that's why I'm a bit more critical of movies or something like that at times. But like you say, you have to do it in a kind of a constructive way. Like, it shouldn't be just like you said, toxic or whatever. Like, you know, there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, like, you know. But really quickly, I'm going to address the chat before we get into the past your collecting journey. I'm enjoying this conversation too much. It's going to be a long one. So Anthony says, how many figures do you have in your collection? We're not going to answer that yet, because that's one of the collections I will ask Rich along the way. It's literally one of the kind of scaffolding questions that I have going forward. Oliver Pilgrim watched Civil War today. Good day. Just someone in the chat, maybe could you I'm using new music today, so this is on the StreamYard. They have stock music, so this is just something I put together on GarageBand. What I'd like to know is if it's too loud. So can you hear us properly? If it's a bit too loud, I can drop it down. Is it too loud?
A little bit in my ears. I don't know if it is for anybody else.
Yeah, no worries. Give me 1 second and I'll just drop this down a bit. Thank you for letting me know, because okay.
I always thought, as a separate to this, I think there'd be a lot of people would probably say the same. But you could release this as a podcast,
right? Oh, I could put it on another platform.
Yeah. No, you could take this audio and put it on a podcast. I've been saying the same because Will has his collectors, figures and flakes.
Collectors, it's weekly, isn't it?
Yeah,
no, he's got the lights,
the one on Friday.
Collect.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and there were times. Yeah, and he put it on podcast form, and I was listening on to commute to work, and I just thought it was great to do, and I thought the same with you. When I've been cooking and stuff, I've been listening to the show, so I just think it'd be a good one to put on podcast form.
Good stuff, man. That sounds a good idea. I might have to check it out. So, is that a bit better?
Yeah.
I think it's just, at least I have the level now for future. Right, really quickly, I'm going to get through some of these chats. So, what you guys think of the zombie range? I like the Captain America one, but the Deadpool, not for me. I like the zombie films, but not something I collect. What about yourself, Rich?
I like the Marvel zombie line of comic books. I really like that. I thought they were really entertaining. And there's one that Deadpool kills the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and there's like a Marvel or zombies and stuff as well. That's good. I like some of the figures that they've announced, but all of the what if stuff they've announced it looks too toyetic to me, too much, not close to very cartoony. Yeah, not for me. Cool.
Keith, this guy here is from Ireland. I meant to hit him up actually, because I've made jokes about him coming on to do an episode, but he's dodged me a bit. But I meant to hit him up on Instagram. I'm going to have one final stab at him, and he might come on. Like, but he's a really nice guy. I've messaged a good bit on Instagram, and he's an Irish collector, so like we gotta look after our own. I'm not picking up the Love and Thunder unless to get the Mighty Thor. Yeah, that would be a good display together. I was debating whether that was the Thor. The music isn't overwhelming the conversation. Right, it's I've dropped it down a bit anyway, so it should be nice and soft anyway. Thank you for letting me know, Trevor Weed. How many figures we each have? That's coming. And thanks for letting me know. Yeah, it's a bit too loud. I dropped it down there from, I think it was at 25, dropped it down to 20. Okay, so with all that being said, where do we have this? Right, so I'm going to get my banner up here. So we're going to talk about the past. So just a few scaffolding questions. You can take this in any direction you want. I'm going to focus on 6 scale, but feel free to tell us stuff you were collecting before 6 scale or at the same time 6 scale, or bring in other things. We will also discuss the present and future. But what I'd like to know is, and I'm sure the audience would like to know as well, what was your first ever 1/6 scale hot toy? When did you get it? Obviously, what the character was. Do you still have it? Who did you buy it off? How did you feel about the price? Did you go payment plan, or did you think, no, this is a one and done, or did you realize, oh no, this is a slippery slope? Talk to us, Rich. Talk to us.
So I'll just go back a little bit. So I've always been into, I brought up in the 80s, so the Star Wars figures, the Batman figures, I've always collected something. And with those films, and I've always been a comic book fan as well. Not as much as Brendan, he's hardcore in comparison to myself. But then I collected something. So I had, like in the 90s, I had like the McFarlane Spawn line. I always had something. And it always meant something to me to have those representations in my collection, whether it be on a shelf or wherever. And when I got into my 20s and 30s, I took a bit of time out, and then so basically I started re-falling in love again with the comic book genre, and obviously like Dark Knight, the Iron Man brought it all back and stuff. And 'cause obviously there's a desert between Spider-Man 3 to you know what I mean, to Iron Man
until 2008.
Yeah, because it was hard going for a while, and the first thing I ever picked up, which was in 2011, was, I didn't know at the time, was a hot toy, was a 1/4 scale Iron Man Mark III bust. So I had that. Yeah, so I was living with a girlfriend at the time, and I had like a little room where I put my computer and all this kind of stuff, and I had this one thing which was just there. It lit up and it looked awesome, and I liked it a lot.
A quarter scale bust from Hot Toys. I've never seen that. Yeah,
really nice. Yeah. They released them, and then they released. I think they did all the party protocol ones as well, house party protocol, where they released all the different ones as well. So it was a really, really nice piece. I don't know if I've got it on my phone, but yeah, it was a really nice little focal piece in my room just to have, and I really liked it. Then I moved house. I got a bigger house. I had a whole man cave area to myself.
Oh, man cave.
It was ridiculous. I had a loft conversion, and so I got Captain America's shield. I had Mjolnir. I had like quite a few different things, like so I don't know if you remember, like Dragon collectibles, where they had like quite small versions of like all the Marvel ones. So they did like all the Age of Ultron stuff. Right. They're only little, but they look really quite nice. So I had all of those, and then I got premium formats. So I then got
they're quarter scale, the premium formats.
Yes, premium formats. This one.
Yeah.
So this is my
Sideshow?
Yes, this is Sideshow.
Right.
Yeah, I get so many compliments on this. It's unbelievable. So my first ever big collectible was this, and I had to sell it at one point, and then I managed to buy it back. But that's another story later on. But then I got this. I got the Mark 42 quarter scale premium format, which lit up. It looked really nice. Dark Knight premium format, Joker premium format. I got a couple of. I got like Iron Studios Captain America Age of Ultron one, which is, I still regret to this day selling it. It's absolutely beautiful. It's him stood on top of the remains of a tank, and he's literally just pointing out into the horizon, and he's got the shield, and it's magnetic, and you can also put it on his back. Stunning piece. I sold it, and I'm at a loss of it. I was terrible. Anyway, so to answer your question about my first 1/6 scale thing, was from a comic con in Birmingham, and I got a Daredevil Sideshow 1/6 scale from not a Daredevil, Deadpool one, and it got the katanas in the hand, and it was quite a fixed one. I don't know if it was a knockoff, but I got it anyway, and I really liked it, and I had it in my display. Then I found out that BVS had released, obviously the BVS came out, they had all these the Batman and Superman hot toys, and I was like, they look amazing. I'm not going to be able to afford those because they're like ridiculously expensive. I started looking on the Facebook groups and Facebook Marketplace, and I managed to get I'm looking at my notes, for £60.
Right.
For £60, I got a loose Thor The Dark World special edition, which cost me £60.
That's like really cheap.
Really cheap. So I got that, and I really, really liked it, and it had a really good presence with it. It was incredibly lifelike. I think a lot of the things with some of the premium formats, is while they are imposing and look fantastic for the money, sometimes the likeness isn't there. And so like I had the Mark 42, you could replace the head, and you can have the open version, and it didn't really look like RDJ, so I avoided doing that. And so then I started going down that rabbit hole a bit. So first ever one was Deadpool, the Sideshow one. I think it was a knockoff, but it was nice. Then I got Dark World. I had long hair at the time, so I kind of fancied myself a bit of a Thor. And so I got Thor from Dark World, and then I got a BVS Superman. And then it was like all bets are off. This is one hell of a piece.
Slippery slope.
Yeah, absolutely. So
was Thor: The Dark World your very first one?
First hot toy, yes.
First hot toy. So that's the loose 1/6 scale Thor from the special edition that you got for £60.
Yes. Yeah.
And was that an eBay job or so? I didn't catch where you.
It was a Facebook Marketplace one.
Ah, I got you. Yeah. That's a considerable deal, like.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Sorry, continue on.
It was a guy selling on behalf of his son. He was just like, oh, I was just getting rid of some stuff before he goes to uni or whatever. And I'm like, thank you very much. I love it. So you'll see a lot of this from the pattern that's forming with myself and my career in collecting. It's been a very up and down, but it's always been the value of money for me and what it means to me. If I'm buying something, it has to mean something, not because I'm just chasing the trend and chasing the hype. It has to mean something to me, and I've learned a lot from it because I did follow the hype train for a very long time, and I also got caught a lot of it as well, because I was like, oh, if I get this, then I can sell this for this and all this kind of stuff. Dion, hey Dion, he's my buddy.
He's a mate of yours, is he?
Yeah, he is. He's a good mate of mine.
Hello, Dion.
He's on his way back from work. So for me, it was. I didn't go, right, I'm going to get rid of all the statues. I'm going to go and focus on 1/6. But with my circumstances changing to me and the wife, we got married and then we got pregnant. So then we're like, we're going to move into a different house, and that was smaller. And then I had to give up my man cave and move into this bit, which is this conservatory. So like, it's not conducive for big 1/4 scale statues, and didn't have hell of a lot of room. So it was a thing where I was like, okay, I'm going to still focus on the 1/6 and some statues. But then after that, I did Mark 50 Iron Man, the promo Spider-Man, Scarlet Spider-Man, all from Sideshow then, because my friend Terry told me about him. He'd been collecting them for a while and he got an amazing collection. And he was like, you need to get on Sideshow. I'm like, all right, brilliant, that's great. So I start watching like Justin's videos and stuff like this. And
the promo Spider-Man, was that the promo, the tech suit from Far From Home?
Yes, yeah.
So, I really like the tech suit. I like the colors on it.
Yeah, me too. And it was a great improvement from the first one, which I also had at one point and sold it to get the promo. And then
did you have the deluxe version with the headphones and everything?
I had everything. Yeah.
That man, I chased that figure. Where is it?
Yeah. You've got
That's
it there.
Never leaving.
Love it with the jacket. It looks so good like that. Yeah.
There was one photo sold me on it. I was on Sideshow, I think it was back in 2017, and I was trying to get my first diecast Iron Man. Got the Mark 6, and I happened to see that, and that photo just sold me on it. When he looks like he was walking to school with the hoodie and the blazer and the headphones, the hoodie up, and all cool looking, like hipster Spider-Man. I was like, that. How could you not like that? Like, you know. But I hunted it down eventually for a decent price. But sorry, this is your story. Keep going.
No, it's all right. No, it's So I bought and sold quite a few. I had no idea. I had no real plan as to what I was going to get. Like, I bought a Thor, I got a Deadpool, I've got Superman, I got all this stuff plus all my statues and stuff as well. And I was like, okay, there's no real path. I'm just chasing the next deal. I'm just chasing the next opportunity to get something cool for my collection, which I guess we're all guilty of. Then I got frauded on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, no.
On one of the groups, because a lot of the groups in the UK, I don't know if you use them, but they're all really good and they all look out for each other. I got screwed out of £500, and it put me off collecting for a whole year. So this was like back in 2019. So by that point, I'd got accumulated quite a few. I got like over 10 by this point. And then, so there was this girl, she was selling like a stealth suit, Captain America. And she's like, oh yeah, so this was around the same time as Endgame was about to come out. So 2019, yeah. So she's like, oh, I've got this. I'm selling this on behalf of my boyfriend. would you be interested in this? Would you be interested in that? And I'm like, oh yeah, wow, okay, that's a deal. That's a deal. It was like 150 quid for a stealth suit, cap from Winter Soldier. It was because I wanted it because obviously he was going to be in Endgame in the first scene. And then she's like, oh, I've got this Thanos. Would you be interested in that? And it was like this other. It was like an Iron Studios 10th scale, and all of it was legit. She was like showing me pictures and all this kind of stuff like this, and she's like, this is a lesson for everybody. Don't get carried away. And she's like, what about this? What about this? I'll do this for $5. I'll do it. And just kept adding stuff together. I'm like, this is amazing. My wife, Katie, was just like, are you sure? I'm like, look at these messages. She seems like a nice enough lass. She's selling on behalf of a boyfriend and all this stuff. And and it just got to a point where they sent me the tracking numbers and all this kind of stuff like this. And I was like, oh, can you just tell me where we are with it? And it was like 2-3 weeks later, and this was all via Facebook. And I don't know what happened, and excuse. Long story short, never happened. Basically, somebody in the family had lost a job. They had those stuff. They sold them separately. They thought they could sell them again.
Yeah.
And then so basically just absolutely screwed me, and it put me off the whole thing. Like, there were a few people that I dealt with in the groups that I got on really well with, but apart from that, I was like, I'm done. I don't want anything more to do with it.
So she basically had a list or kind of photos of these items, and she was selling them like at basically offers which are too good to refuse, really, for those pieces. Yeah. And like, so you reckon she'd actually sold those things already, but she was just trying to do it like a double sell because she had the photos anyway and thought. Yeah, and like, was there anything you could do? Like, did you pay for them via PayPal or?
No, well, I was silly because I got carried away. So I was like, oh, she's like, oh, I haven't got, she's only a young lass. So it was like, oh, I ain't got PayPal yet and all this kind of stuff. So I was like, okay, no worries. And so I sent the money via bank transfer, and eventually I ended up speaking to my bank, and they tried to do something, and the girl was like, didn't have a job, and it's just a mess. It was just such a mess. I was just so stressed out with it. And at the time, we'd got Lola, my daughter, by this point, and so I was a new dad. That was 500 quid I could have done with having. My wife was on maternity leave. It was just what my aim was to do was to buy a few of them for myself, and then sell on and make a bit some of my money back. And that was the idea. So I'd always had this like little side hustle where if I'm passionate about something, I always see like a little business opportunity, but not in any way to screw anybody out of money, but just to kind of make a little bit of profit for myself, but also fund my collection and fund my passion. So it's not just funneling.
Use your collection to fund your collection.
Exactly, and I've sold loads of stuff in the past to pay for other things. Like I sold, for example, 2 Hot Toys to buy this Prime 1 Deluxe.
That was Will's fault, though.
It was Will's fault that he got me on the Prime 1.
You know what? Game. Was he enabler, or did he just show you something that you wanted, but you never knew you wanted because you didn't know it existed? You know, he helped you.
He helped me out. Well, the thing is, he'd been talking about mixing scales in quite a few of his shows, and at one point it was kind of like within the community, it was kind of like you had the 6th scale or you quarter scale, and that's it. And it's kind of like, it just seemed like kind of like quite strict way of looking at things like that. And I was like, oh no, I like having different scales. I love my Batman, I love this, all this kind of stuff. And so like Will was talking about his Prime 1s that he'd got, and there was somebody who was moving house down near Rugby, and he really wanted rid of this thing. He wasn't going to take it with him, and I was like, okay, how much do you want? And he's like, I'll take £500. And I'm like, oh my God, yes, I'll take it. But I didn't have the expendable money. I was a couple of days for payday or whatever, or I tied some money into something else that I bought. And so I ended up selling 2 Hot Toys. And then when I met up with him, he's like, oh, by the way, would you be interested in this bust? I don't know if you can see, it's not really well lit. It's like the Bruce Wayne that you can basically replace the head.
Is it Dark Knight, is
it? It's from the Arkham game.
I see.
Arkham City, or Arkham Knight. You can see it here. But basically,
it's from the Arkham Knight computer game, is it?
Yeah. So basically, you can take this off and you can put it on the head of that. So,
Oh, right.
yeah, it's really cool, and it's an amazing piece. It's 1/3 scale, and it's absolutely huge. And I was contemplating putting him up there and moving it around a little bit. I'm going to open up this area soon. Long story short, but yeah. So I got out of the collecting game for about a year. Like I said, we got a little baby girl, bringing up Lola and stuff, and it was just like, okay, priorities, work, family, that's it. COVID happens, so I work within recruitment, and within recruitment there is a commission element to the role, and you basically get a nice basic, but then you get even better if you work really hard. You can make placements, you make commission, and that was always my little collecting money, little side bit. So I go, okay, I'll always do this. And then COVID happens, and then there was made redundancies within the firm that I was working for, and it was really tough, and I had a really bad time with it, and I had to sell. I think I sold about 10 figures during COVID, especially the first year, and that really knocked me back, because I was like, I didn't even have them displayed. I didn't even have this or anything. Like, this area didn't exist at the time, and yeah, goods and service, yeah, all day.
Bob Dylan just said that there.
Yeah, 100%.
Is that PayPal goods and services? Is it
PayPal goods and service? Unless you really trust somebody, yeah.
And so it's friends and family for people you trust.
Family, yeah.
Because there's no fees.
Yeah, they don't pay the 4% fee, and then that way, then if there was any issues, you could claim it back. But in friends and family, it's you're just gifting them some money.
Gotcha, yeah.
So with what I was saying was, so I think I sold about pretty much one a month of my collection to continue the money coming in, because my wife was on maternity. I think she started going back to work. The COVID situation happened. No one had a clue what was going on. I didn't have any furlough money. I wasn't given anything. I was just working as normal, but without any kind of commission. So I was like,
yeah,
this is tough. And it was really tough for a while.
You're on your basic and had to make ends meet in a different way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's like, you don't know what's going to happen. And it was just like, it's just really tough. And not to get too down about it, guys, I will bring it up.
No, it's the reality. It's the reality of collecting and reality of life. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
When you make plans, God smiles.
God laughs. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And it's something that I've been living by a lot, to be fair. So then I kind of, once we got a bit out of COVID and stuff, I had one hell of a deal. Now I'm going to redeem this story and hopefully build up the morale. So I started collecting again. Bought quite a lot from Dion, my buddy, and buddy Luke, and some people with it. I started joining the groups again, and I joined these 1 or 2 waffle groups, which like raffle groups, which are people that I know in the UK, really good guys. A guy called Chris who runs one, who's a mate of mine, and so I started building up my collection again, and so it started really happening again, and I fell back in love with it, because it was, when I had those ones that I was selling, I didn't have them out of their box. They were literally above my wardrobe in boxes. So I was like, if I don't see them, if I don't display them, I'm not in love with them. I can get rid. So
that's a fair point. Yeah, that's a fair point.
I took away the emotional element to it, where I was like, it's a transactional.
That's what Anthony from Six Scale Mafia does. If he's thinking about I think this is great. If he's thinking about selling a figure, he boxes it up, puts it away, and if he walks past his display and doesn't kind of go looking for, or he's not going, oh, where's that? Then he's like, yeah, it's time to sell it. But if he's like, goes to look at it, it's not there, and he misses it being in a display, he's like, yeah, I'm not selling that. I think
he's great. Great answer. I like it a lot. But yeah, so where'd I get to? Yeah, so I got one hell of a deal. It's going to blow everybody's minds. I'm not going to build this up too much. But there was a guy on Facebook Marketplace. Bear in mind, I'd been burnt so much. So I was like, I don't trust
you. Needed a win. Yeah.
So there was a guy in Wales who was selling on behalf of his brother. Sounds like the same thing, but it's not. So this guy was selling a camo tumbler. So I'm like, I'll have one of them. It'd be nice. It'd be nice to have in the collection. I don't have one. It'd be great. And he's like, yeah. I said, I always ask this when I'm buying something from somebody. Do you have anything else that you can be putting up, or we could do a bit of a bulk deal or whatever? Again, the business side. And he went, actually, yeah. There's a Batman statue, and there's a Catwoman statue, and I think he's got a Bane as well. And I'm like, oh, all right, like acting all coy. So I'm like, oh, how much do you want for it? He's like £500. I'm not sponsored by £500, by the way. I've said it 3 times already in the last 10 minutes. But like, but it's completely true. So I live up in Nottingham. So it's like it's the right trek to go to Wales. So I got in touch with my buddy Luke and said, if I give you some money, would you be able to pick this stuff up for me? And if it's not right, walk away. I'll give you the money to pick it up. I'll meet you up in Bristol. I'll pick this stuff up and then I'll shoot back and I'll give you £100 for your time. Absolutely no problem. Legend guy. Yeah, it was good for him as well because it was a good little outing and got to meet up and finally and stuff. So bearing in mind, I sold this at some point before my wedding, which was my pride and joy, and it hurt a lot. Ever since that point, I was like, I really want it back. I made a mistake. Mrs. said, I told you shouldn't have sold it. I'm like, thanks very much for that, but tough.
Who said that to you?
My wife. Told you shouldn't have done it. Told you shouldn't have done it. I'm like, well, you didn't magic up £500, did you? Anyway, I'm kidding.
Rich only buys things for £500.
Yeah, I'm going to say
things for exactly £500.
Stop saying £500 now. But sorry, half a grand. So bear in mind, I sold that, so I really regretted it. So this guy was selling premium format 1989 Batman, the Catwoman, the Tumbler, and a Bane from Dark Knight Rises from Hot Toys for that amount of money, which I'm not going to say the amount again. Ridiculous deal.
So the camo Tumbler, the Hot Toys Bane,
yep,
the 89 behind you,
yes,
and everything,
yes,
for £500
with a Catwoman premium format as well, which looked really nice for that amount of money. Yeah,
that is
unbelievable,
insane.
So
that's an insane deal.
Insane. So what I did was I kept that. I sold the Tumbler for that amount of money that I paid. I'm not saying the amount again. To a guy in Bristol when I was driving down to Devon last year with my family. I met up with him and I gave it him, and so I made money back. You
are the Del Boy of Hot Toys collecting. You need one of those furry coats, like, you know what I mean? a red t-shirt.
I hate that I am a bit like that, but I love the hustle. I love if I do this, I can get this. Yeah, absolute no-brainer. And it's like, and like I managed to make my money back, and then have all this other stuff that I sold the Catwoman on for $250. So it's all this stuff. So it's kind of making those opportunities work, and because I wasn't like in love with everything that was there, I managed to sell it on. Thanks, Keith. That's nice feedback. Thank you.
That's Keith as well. He's like, yeah, it's refreshing when people tell you they tell you the deal.
I'm brutally honest, man. I'm brutally honest with anything like this. I truly, I don't mean to talk over you there, but like for me, I think a lot of the collecting world, the Justins and the Ryans of this world, obviously have an amazing amount of money, which is like everybody wants that. Everybody wants their collection. Everyone wants their collection room. Everyone wants to have that opportunity. They've worked incredibly hard to get that.
Yeah, you don't get to 500 subscribers or 500,000 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers without grafting. They're grafting. You know what I mean? So they're doing
without absolutely putting the work in and doing that. And for me, collecting is an extension of my love of comic books and films. It's not my be all and end all. My family is first, 100%. I've got a 1-in-1 real life scale Hot Toys. Do you know what I mean? I've got my family. I've got my daughter to look after. Those are my priorities first. This is nice to have. And for me, and that's one of the reasons why I started having these kind of discussions, was not only going, because I've spoke about before when you've had chats about me buying the deluxe Mando for ridiculously cheap. I bought 2 because I wanted one to display too big for my display, by the way, so that's backfired. So I'm going to stick with the standard version and sell.
You know what that's called? When you buy two and one's generally to sell. I heard this the other day and I loved it. One to rock and one to stock. I just thought that was. I love that. I love that.
That's nice. That's nice.
Maybe it's an old phrase. I only heard it the other day.
No, I like it. I haven't heard that before. No, I like that.
You're gonna display one and then you're gonna stock the other until it's working.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, so for me saying stuff like this, it's completely true. And I've made mistakes buying stuff that I thought was a bargain. And can I show you a picture on my phone? Will it show up?
Yeah.
Right. I got something off, again, Facebook Marketplace. This is not a cautionary tale for Facebook Marketplace, but this is a 1989 Batman that I bought. Can I just quickly show? This is how it arrived. Can you see the eyes?
Yeah, I can't really see exactly what's wrong with it.
It's a bit
off to the side, or is it scratched, or what?
He's a bit boz-eyed. Basically, his eyes were in the middle. The purge system, purge? Purse?
I think it's PERS.
That one.
I think it's parallel eye rolling system. I think that's what it stands for. And then the new one is the SIRS, the single eye rolling. I think it's single eye rolling system or something like that.
So I bought that as a bargain, and I thought, oh great, I'm gonna have another one. It'd be great to have two. Again, what you said, for me to keep one to display, and it arrived like that. The deal was too good to be true for a reason, and I managed to get money back and stuff like that and send it back and stuff. And he was really gracious about it, but not a lot of people are. Some people can be. Wait a minute, they already spent that money, and it's like you're on your own kind of thing. And I think it's like with anything. If you're buying a car, and look at that, the £500 guy.
That could be your like undertale line.
I hope I'm worth more than that. Yeah. But yeah, so like stuff like that, cautionary tales, and people can jump into that, which is really funny. Anyway, I will stop digressing.
No, man, it's enjoyable, and to be honest,
I've got one more deal that I got from eBay for £30, a DX12.
No way.
Yes,
you actually got that in hand.
I got it in hand. So my wife,
was it loose?
No. So my wife, she goes on eBay a lot. She buys and sells little bits and bobs, like clothes and stuff like this. And she goes on these groups and she goes like, oh, is this anything? And it'd be like a Funko Pop or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, that's all right, babe. It's nothing really. Anyway, it was Downer's Batman figure, and somebody basically just got it, whether it was a charity shop or whatever, had got this thing and just labeled it as Batman figure. And she went, bearing in mind the amount of time she got, is this anything? And I go, oh, it's all right, or it's a bit loose and loose joints, all this kind of stuff like this. Because she's amazing, she's trying her best with stuff like that. But she turns around, and she goes, "Is this?" And I went, "Wait a minute,
I love this."
What? Yes, and I didn't have it, so I was like, "Look, let's bid on it, and I got it for £30, and it came through. And there was a couple of things that were like missing in the box, but the actual figure itself was spot on. And so there are deals to be had. Yeah,
if someone wanted that, like let's say someone was upgrading they wanted, like, I don't know, they wanted to get the new DX19 and wanted to pose it with a Joker or something, and then they wanted a Batpod, and they were like, they were concerned about messing up the figure. 30 quid, put it on the Batpod, done deal.
Exactly.
Like, just going to address this comment here by Safel. Thank you very much for this. A one to rock and one to stock comes from fashion or the sneaker community. One to rock as in to wear, and then one to stock, generally kept for mint future sale. Makes perfect sense. And Savon just confirming that, it's a sneakerhead term.
That's a good term.
Yeah, absolutely. I imagine if you're like, I know a lot of people like who also collect sneakers, so like that's a whole nother box game going on there, like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Well, it's like what we were saying yesterday with Brendan with his CGCs. I got into that game a little bit, and that's an expensive hobby. But you can make money from it, but you just have to be very wise with it. Because I was just going, I've got this nice comic. I was getting this comic, and I was like, oh, this has got a nice art cover. And my mate would go, oh yeah, it's worth like 40 quid. I'm like, spent 70, sending it to America to get graded. So it's like,
I'd say it's type of thing, like you need one of those variants that Brendan was talking about, or just have something on a whim and an outlier, and just ends up being one of those. It's like figures a lot of time. The ones that get passed on, like the Mud Trooper from It's the Solo film.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful figure, but like now it's kind of definitely climbing up there. All right, we're going to play what I like to call the yes-no game show, right? You're not allowed to give reasoning. You literally have to say yes or no. So I'm going to put several images up on the screen. And what you're saying yes or no to is if they'll actually go up for pre-order. You're not saying that you're going to buy them or you're interested in. You're not critiquing them. It's basically, do you think that fans are going to get an opportunity to actually pre-order these things? So
I'm ready.
All you have to do is say yes or no. So item number 1, yes or no?
Yes.
So you think this is actually going to go up for pre-order?
Yes.
So do I.
No.
This one, I don't think this is going up for pre-order.
Change my mind. It's absolutely no. Yeah. Yes to this.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think it's going to go up for pre-order. This one here?
Yes.
Yeah, I think this is going to go up for pre-order.
Don't even know. Probably yes.
Yeah, I don't think so. And just a different set here, the pit droid and this little droid.
That would be an accessory pack of some kind, like, they did the Grogu versions of late. That's what they'll release it as, like a little afterthought. But yes. Yeah,
it's possibly. Yeah, I think I'm going to lean towards yes on this and no on the R5. I'm not sure what my reasoning is on that, but
yes, I hope so.
Yes, and hopefully they fix these sides because Marco from 16Fix, I think he was here earlier. If he's still here, thank you very much. He sent me an image of this literally from the side, and it's still from The Dark Knight Rises. And it's not. If anyone wants to watch The Dark Knight Rises, go to the 39 minutes and 51 seconds, and it rises up, and you can see it for about a minute or two on screen at different angles. But they need to make this more transparent because this looks too frosted.
Wasn't it covered in water? Right? Yes. Yes.
It was covered in water.
Yeah.
It was covered in water, but it still looked see-through. So, do you think this is going to go up for pre-order?
I really hope so. I really hope so. It'd be really nice.
I'm going to say no, but I want it to go up for pre-order because I want to see what the final product will look like.
It'd be awesome. It'd be awesome. It'd be really nice. Like I said it on our stream a couple of weeks back, was like when Hot Toys released the Bat from The Dark Knight Rises. That was 1/12 scale, and that looked really quite nice. I had an opportunity to buy it at one point and I didn't. I regret it. But I think if they did that, so iconic, the Batwing, it's amazing. It's better than the BVS one, and it's the most iconic of Batwing. So I can't see why it wouldn't. I've got it in. I said this again in the stream previously, but I've got the UCS collection of 1989 Batman Lego, and it's amazing. It's absolutely stunning. And
so you have the Lego Batwing.
Yeah, I have the Lego Batwing. I have the Lego 1989 Batman. I have the one which is like a Technic one from the recent Batman film. And I've also got the Tumbler in UCS version. So they're really big, and they come with a display with like the little minifigs at the bottom. I've also got the Millennium Falcon, which I built.
That takes a long time to build, does it?
Yeah.
A lot of fun though, and therapeutic.
So much fun. So I work in a corporate environment, and having something like that to really focus on just on a Sunday afternoon was just so nice for me to do that. And I love doing that. That's what made me fall back in love with Lego again. And so it was the Star Wars that got me back into that.
Cool. Just going to really quickly address the chat here. So 6 Scale Reviews, Dan and Dre. One of my favorite channels on YouTube, and 2 really nice chilled out guys, the cool customers. We streamed together a few times, not enough though. We're going to stream more. Dan Andre, if anyone there in the chat hasn't subscribed to 6 Scale Reviews, fantastic content. If anyone's thinking about buying that DX19 and hasn't done so already, click the subscribe button on 6 Scale Reviews and then watch their DX19 review. There's some fantastic posing in there. Yeah. From the first 5 seconds, the opening pose, just like, nailed it. Dion is saying the yes, no, but I think we don't know which ones they're referring to, but ending Nolanverse gets made, which is good for us, Batman fans. Definitely. Lego Batwing, awesome.
Yeah. Well worth
Collector Joey, again, another guy. I subbed him a few weeks ago. Really easy to listen to, just good content. So again, if you haven't done so already, just sub to them. Like everyone's got a different style, and like if collectors tend to be a bit obsessive anyway, so you can't get enough content. do you have the Hot Toys 89 Batmobile? And if not, will it get reissued? Good question. What do you think, Rich?
Well, it's featured in the new Flash film that's been constantly delayed and will be released next year. I hope they will release it. I don't have it. I had an opportunity to buy it a few years ago, and at the time I was going through that period of time where I didn't have a lot of money, and I was like, oh, maybe not. And I really should have bought it because I can't wait to have it. I really, really want it. It's going for like £1,000 now. I just can't justify it. But you see, like that's what happened with the DeLorean and the Ecto one. Sorry. Whereas where it was like going for like £1,000 plus, and then suddenly, bang, it's out for pre-order. So I'm hoping with the release of the '89 Batman stuff, there's going to be a new love for it within the collecting community anyway, and I think releasing that is a no-brainer, and having that with the Bat computer and the Batmobile there, that in itself is just primo for me. It's just absolutely, that's all I'd want, really.
I completely agree with you. I'm gonna go out there and say if they release the 89 Batman, the 89 Batmobile will follow. It's just a question of when. Yeah. OG fan, when Star Wars was just Star Wars. Hello, how are you, man? I'm glad you're here. 42 people in chat. Please hit the like, subscribe to both channels, 16 Figure Focus and Reviews with Rich on YouTube. I got the DX19. This is your mate Dion. I actually really like the cape. I completely agree with you. I have a custom cape, which I bought for the DX02, which is obviously the same suit. The DX02 is one of my sob stories. I paid about €600 for it. I worked backwards, completely overpaid, opened it, and it was the only time I unboxed the figure where I was like, no. And that was like a quick, sharp shock of a lesson, because I was a seasoned enough collector at the time. I just really wanted it because of Dark Knight. And just not a good figure, completely overpaid for it. There was one time I really emotion got the I bought with my heart a bit too much there. I know we buy with our hearts at the best of times, like, but
I've done that so many times, man. It's like
that was it.
You've seen a video and I'm like, oh, I love that, I'm getting it, and I just pre-order it. The DX19, I'll talk about it in a bit, but that's one I have on pre-order, and
fantastic.
And I can't wait for that. The only thing is with the Bruce Wayne head, he looks a bit squat like that. There's not much neck. On the pictures I've seen, I don't know if I'm wrong, but it looked a bit squat on his only if he hasn't got a neck.
I don't know. I haven't noticed anyway. I took photos of it with the head sculpt on. I was happy enough, but maybe I think it depends what angle you hold the head.
Maybe something I'd seen it, but yeah.
Commander Green says OG fan in the house. But then it's not Lego or actually fun to build.
I saw his comment. He's trying to get a rise.
Yeah, he has a spot in. I agree with the Mando ship. They will not make it too big for most people to display. Yeah. I think so. And they could always buy that and snap together parts. Like, it doesn't have to come like in one piece. I still don't think they'll do it personally. Would you pick up the 89 Batmobile if they remake or reissue it?
1000%.
Me, I don't like buying things unless I have space to display it. The 89 Batmobile might be one I'll make a decision and work out how to display it. And I love the tumbler as well, but I think there's something more slicker about the 89. I'm also getting the DX19 on the fence about the Batpod. Do you think it's worth getting? Yes, 100%. I'm literally.
I was going to ask you that question actually.
Is it great? Looking at it right now, it's just awesome. Like, see if actually 1 second. So
behind the scenes look.
This is what I'm looking at here, and then you can see the Mark III in the back. Yes. And then this is literally right here down by my.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I have two DX19s. One is on the way. This is one. So you have the DX19 here, just posed with the EMP. Sorry,
the EMP. Yeah,
you get the gist.
I always love that scene, by the way.
Yeah.
Whereas there on the Batpod on Rises, where he just rocks up and he's got the EMP gun and he just takes out all those police cars and the lights. It's so good. It's so good, that moment. It
is one of the highlights of the film for me. And what gets me every time is he just drives past so quickly, those cops, that the cars nearly shake, and the young cop says to the old cop, "What was that?" And your man goes, "Boy, you're in for a show tonight." The hairs in the back of my neck stand up when it's just like he's back after 8 years, you know.
You know that came from, you're talking about Dark Knight Rises yesterday. Return, sorry. You say about the comic book. You said about my voice. Dark Knight Returns. That is a moment in Dark Knight Returns where he literally returns, but the police
in
car,
the graphic novel you're talking about,
novels, and also but that's directly from that moment where the old cop is in with the young cop, and he's like, "What was that?" And he goes, "You're in for a show tonight, kid." And then there's the moment where he jumps across.
I get you.
Line. So that's.
I have vague memories of reading that and kind of going, was that taken? It must have been like it's too much.
You've seen the animated show of the film of that, haven't you?
I got it on Apple TV there. Folks, 43 in the, I was about to say 44 and then one person left. 43 in the chat. Thanks very much for being here. Really appreciate you listening to us having a chat and engaging in the chat. So we've obviously discussed the past of Rich's collecting journey. We're going to move on to the present. Now I'm going to ask you a question. I got to step up 1 second. I can still hear you, so just keep talking. I can still hear you. Yeah. So obviously with the present, just going to give a few scaffold questions. You can take this whatever direction you want. So if you could maybe outline, say, this is obviously Anthony Wagstaff wanted to know like how many figures you have in your collection. My own one is I have 33 1/4 scale and one Batpod. So how many 6 scales do you have? Do you know how many statues you have? Do you collect anything else besides 1/6 scale and statues? Do you have any 1/4 scale? Run through the numbers, and even like I like the way you have things displayed in the background. So maybe if you outline what that is it custom? Is it bought from a certain company? And I'll be back with you in 1 minute, but I can still hear you.
No problem. So the first one is the 6 scale. So for me, 6 scale, I have around 15 at the moment, and that is a number that changes quite a lot, simply because of what I was saying earlier about the fact that I do buy and sell a lot. My tastes change, but the fundamental ones that remain are my love for Batman, DC, and a lot of the tentpole Marvel films. The films that mean a lot to me is what I always have representation of. So to talk about 1/4 scales, I have obviously the Batman 89 premium format. That's 1/4 scale. I also have 2 Mandos 1/4 scale, one standard and one deluxe. The deluxe one is spectacular from Hot Toys, however, is way too big for this display. So I'm going to get another one of these and put it across the room. So when I do my streams and when I'm on live streams and do my own videos, there'll be a whole wall of my collection. A lot of it is in storage, simply because I'm recording from my conservatory. And so, not to get too much sunlight on it, obviously I want to look after this stuff, and it's really important to me. So for 1/3 scale, the only one I have is this prime one here from Arkham game. The Arkham game, I'll tell you which one it is. It is the Arkham Knight. It's the Arkham Knight special edition one. It's the first version that they released. And obviously I've got the replacement bust with the Bruce Wayne head sculpt. I'll talk about stuff in the future with what I'm going to be focusing on, but also I've got a number of premium formats which I like a lot. I've got about 7 premium format or 1/4 scale statues which I really, really like. The nice statement pieces. I'm not amazing at posing. I'm really trying really hard to pose more. So I posed these up earlier today. So I've got the Justice League Batman. He looks like he's leaning too much on this one, but this is the deluxe one with the Parademon base and the Superman, which I absolutely love. I've also got a Mando helmet from Hasbro, and I've got a really nice piece from, this is DC Direct. So I got it from a fellow collector, which is Versian Croc, which I think is a nice piece, and it's not 6 scale, but I like it anyway. I got it really cheap, like £80.
What company makes them?
This is DC Direct, this one.
Right, I see you.
Yeah, so McFarlane Toys have now picked up the license for DC, so they're working along the lines with DC Direct.
So that's
Also
why they're
got-
releasing all those the Batman figures then.
Yeah. So this one here, which is I've shown on a previous stream, but I did a video on it. This is the Jim Lee red and black McFarlane the Batman.
Oh, it's different.
Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice, and it's got this bit. I said I did a video on it, but when they released the artwork, the first poster for the Batman, they did it in red and black. And it was really cool, the reveal. And Jim Lee, who's one of my favorite comic book artists, did a poster for, I think it was the DC Fandom. And when he released that, McFarlane released this, well, it's around the same time as the film. And I really like it. I did a video on it. And I've also got the Snow Speeder helmet, which I won as part of a raffle a few months back, which is quite
that part
cool.
of the waffle groups or something?
Yeah. So he does this one where it's like a pound waffle, and
Not 500 pounds. No, not 500
not
pounds.
£500 one. But yeah, so I got that, and I really don't know what I'm going to do with that, to be honest, because I'm not planning to get in the Snow Speeder. So Snow Speeder Luke. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I might sell it. But yeah, so that's
Did
what
you say you're not planning to get the Snow Speeder Luke, or you are?
No, not yet. I think I'm going to focus on the Bespin Luke.
Gotcha.
Have that with Vader would be great for my empire.
They'd pair very well together. So I just actually, when I went downstairs, I got a small bit more wine. When I went downstairs, usually the Bluetooth carries perfectly anywhere around the house, but I cut out one piece there. Did your actual numbers of 6 scale? What was that?
6 scale is 15. I've got a few more on order, which I'll talk about in a bit.
Yeah.
Can I talk about the pre-orders now?
I'd say we might go into the future on that one. And then there's something else I wanted to ask you. So you've 15 in hand, and you were speaking about the cabinets behind you, and I'm always curious about how people do they get them custom made? Were they part of the house, or did you order them in? Literally the Bluetooth cut out there on the way down. So the cabinets behind you, how did you what are they?
This one's a Billy case, which is really sturdy, and I had fixed to the wall. These lights have gone off, so it's not ideal. And I've got a number of other statues and display pieces up there as well.
Gotcha.
Above the cabinet, including like an 89 Batman, piece, which I got for my brother for Christmas, which is a really cool piece. I think it's Diamond Select. This one, fairly cheap, nice piece. But
Ben from the Attention Seeking Geek, or Ben the Attention Seeking Geek, has mentioned Diamond Select on his channel a few times. Actually, I'd never heard of them.
That's so. I before I got 6 scale, I started dabbling in Diamond Select. So I got a lot of. There's a really dynamic one which I like, which is Deadpool one, where it's got the katanas behind him, and he's like leaping out, and it's really nice piece, like £40. So I'm all about value for stuff as well. This is a Billy one. I can't remember what this one is. It's both IKEA, but I'm hoping to get another one of these to go across to this side of the room because my wife's desk is there. Not ideal. Right. So I'm going to move her to the other side of the room, and then I'm going to have a better lighting setup. So
you're going to take over.
And then I'm going to take over. I'm going to have a few more pieces out there, including a lot of my quarter scales, and I'm going to display this at Prime 1 better as well, with some better lighting and stuff.
Sounds good. So just in case you're just after joining us here, this is episode 17 of Visions. We're discussing the past, the present, and the future of Rich's collecting journey. If you haven't followed Reviews with Rich on YouTube, please do help and support him. 42 in the chat, hit the like, subscribe. Really do appreciate everyone coming here. It's something I've been really looking forward to. So I've got a question for you. But first, I think, look, it's not all fun and games, folks. Sometimes I don't mean to bring the mood down, but sometimes we lose people, and it's really important to remember them. So just
Yes.
Never forget.
We didn't plan that at all either.
No.
That's amazing. I was there for ages. I didn't know how long that was going to go on for.
Folks, I'll tell you a little story here, right? So wasn't working today. I woke up and I was like, my plan was to go for a run, then go to the gym. So I got up and I was just having one of those lazy days. I was just like, oh my God, like, it's just like, finding it hard to motivate myself, like, which usually doesn't happen, but I was definitely having a bit of a lazy one. And I have seen Top Gun Maverick twice in cinema, once in IMAX and once not, and absolutely loved it, which we're going to get into a little bit here with some of the leading questions. But I just came across, I was like, doing some reading, and like I didn't want to leave the house today, but I was just flicking through the YouTube, and I usually coming up when I'm not too familiar with the person I'm going to be speaking to, I watch some of their videos. Like obviously, Lael, I've known him for a long time. I've been following him for a long time, but myself and Rich only really got to know each other a few weeks ago. So yeah. I saw reviews at Rich, and it was just like Top Gun Maverick. So I clicked on that. It was only about 6 minutes long, but he basically picks out the exact same things that I loved about this movie. Like, yes. I could talk for an hour, and basically this 6 minutes is better. You know what I mean? Oh. I enjoy talking for an hour, but this 6 minutes just bang, 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 hit on everything. The correct amount of nostalgia. The visual effects are amazing. It's Tom Cruise at his best. He's just, it's like real cinema. It is, I think it's a 5-star movie. No, like, when I talk about the comic book, I'm a film fan first, collector second. So when I talk about like the market getting saturated by comic book superheroes, like it's great we're getting all this content, but sometimes like for every like 5, it seems like there's one absolute gem. But maybe that's the film side of me kicking in. I'm still happy we get the content that's still entertained, still get the popcorn out. But I absolutely loved Maverick. I thought it was fantastic, and I have a real soft spot for Top Gun. So my question to you, and we're going to talk about this a bit, but feel free to throw in your tuppence in the chat there, folks. But the question for you is, I think I know the answer to this. Which is better, Top Gun or Top Gun Maverick? Which is a better movie? Go on.
Top Gun Maverick.
Man, I actually
might drop.
Okay, I just want to put my answer in context. I'll do this really quick. So, like, since I was really, really young, like myself and my sister used to go up to my grandparents in a different part of Ireland, and there's a strong connection there. Like, my granddad went off to America and then came back, so like a lot of his sons and daughters are over there living in America now. So it's a strong Irish American collection there. And they had a bunch of these VHS tapes, you know what I mean? And it was like, they're bootleg, but I think they brought them back from America or something. Classics like Jaws, E.T., Indiana Jones, and Top Gun. Now, I grew up in a small place in Ireland called Shannon. There's not much going on there. It's a small town. There's an airport. So, like, one of my earliest memories is my father bringing me to, just the airport, just to have a look at the planes take off and land. Like, but I was really entertained by it. I thought they were fascinating. So, go back to my aunt's house, and there's this like bootleg copy of Top Gun. And myself and my sister just repeat, wore it out. I was fascinated by the movie. When I got a bit older, I was like, this movie has a lot of cheese. And then when I got a bit even older, I was like, catch yourself on. It is Hollywood at its best. It has a ball of cheese in it, but it's just a bloody good film. Yeah. But Maverick, honestly, it was a breath of fresh air. Like, it was. They tapped into the emotional side. They tapped in nostalgia done right. There was, it was just like they had representation there. It was just a real, like, it was an organic almost feel to it. The fight scenes, the dogfighting, the acting, this mission storyline, fantastic film. If you haven't watched it, you're doing it wrong, right? It's so good. So you think Maverick is better, and you know what? The little kid in me is going, you can't say Maverick's better, Shane. But I actually think it's a better film.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a better film. Yeah, it's a better film. Full stop. Because obviously it's made 36 years later. It's going to be better. Technology, filming, cinematography, acting, everything improves gradually. Where in terms of directing, special effects, everything that all improves with age. Just why I had that discussion with Ben a couple of weeks back when he said about the Spider-Man film. I was like, made 20 odd years ago. What do you expect? Kind of thing like that. It's like, give it some, give it a pass. But with Top Gun, they did the sequel right. They didn't retread the whole thing. With Tom Cruise, I'm not going to be too much behind baseball, but Paramount were constantly pushing him to go, okay, we're going to release it on Paramount Plus. This wants to be our temple. We want it to release with our app. We want it to bring it out. And he's like, no, it deserves to be in the cinema. And boy, does it. I am so glad that he fought so hard. Not many stars have that kind of level of power. Star power to go and do that. Yeah. He's a producer and everything like that. He's obviously the lead. But he deserves it. And I'm really happy about it as well. For a long time, he was not so much a laughing stock, but a lot of people kind of didn't really see him in the light that you and I would of a similar vintage. A lot of the younger generation didn't really know him as Ethan Hunt, all those different films, Jerry Maguire, all those kind of stuff, like where he was the biggest movie star. Classic. I've watched it a couple of nights ago with my wife. I see that film once a year. It's one of my favorites, and he's just fantastic. And the film Top Gun Maverick is just an absolute joy. It's that, Elvis, and also the Batman for me this year have just been standout. They've just been absolute standout films, and that's why I get disappointed when I watch stuff like. I like the way you said film. You said the Batman, yes, because they're films. There's a difference between a movie and a film. I think this film, there's something a bit more arty about it. Yeah, Batman. You're 100% right. The Batman and Maverick, they had a film feel. It was art. And I know, like, MCU films are art too. It's a different type, but they're really, like, they're real films. There's a lot of emotion that's packed in. No, just sorry, I cut you off. Continue. No, it's fine. I think a lot of with what's happened since Mando's been released, there's been a lot of reliance on the what they call it. I forgot the name of it now. The kind of blue screen. They have this thing. I can't remember the name of it. I had it a minute ago. The kind of 360 degree setting. The way that So they do that, and sometimes it feels like shiny. Thank you, man. No, he said Richard's beard and mustache are also outstanding. Thank you very much. But like. The way that things are filmed, sometimes it's filmed, I keep saying this, but it feels like it's filmed in a cupboard. There's no scope to it. It doesn't feel real. And I think with what happened with the Batman and also Top Gun Maverick, it felt, and I said in my own video, there's been a lack of tangibility in a lot of films of late, but these have been real pictures where it's kind of like you feel they're real, and when you feel tangibility, do you mean that like this is a real life thing? This could actually happen again? Not only if it's a real life thing, but you feel emotional attachment because you believe you see it on screen. You're not going through the prism of this is all CGI. I don't believe a second of it, which we are all in our back of our minds have now. There's only one shot on the Batman which I don't fully love, which is the bit where he's jumping and the camera's there and that's the only bit I don't like. But you know what though, Rich? I've heard people say the same thing. Have you ever watched any of those Red Bull wingsuit? The camera looks the exact same. Yeah, it does. It just threw me a bit. I don't know. It just looked a bit silly. But anyway, so there's, I think a lot of films, like say when I saw Doctor Strange, I felt nothing. It felt like, oh, it's just a film, and this is going to happen, and that's going to happen, that's going to open up for the next one, and blah blah blah. And I didn't really feel any kind of stake. I knew that Doctor Strange was going to be all right at the end, and all that kind of stuff. But like with Maverick, and not saying spoilers for those people who haven't seen it, or like the Batman, even it surprised me. And it's not only the level of the way it was made, but also how it was shot, the love, the script, the story. There's so much of it which I didn't expect, and that was really nice. It was really nice to go into the cinema and go, okay, this is going to be a ride. And Top Gun Maverick brought me to tears on a number of occasions. And have you listened to the soundtrack, like the soundtrack for the new one? I haven't yet. My brother sent it. It's well worth listening to. It's really good. Like it's just like even some of my favorite scenes we might talk about at a different stage. Like it just brings you right back to them. It's just cinematic. It is a cinema. I think it's a 5-star film. Like I really think it's. And I rarely give out 5 stars. Like, but it's a 5-star film. I think I just loved it.
just want to. Sorry, I didn't actually finish my story. So my story was right.
Oh, sorry.
So no, you don't have to apologize. I just exactly. I'm enjoying the conversation. The story was, I was like, really, I wasn't gonna bother or something. I was like, okay, I watched this video, and then like it was like, you remind me. Not that I'd forgotten, like, but I was like, he's dead right. I'm gonna mention that today, and because I'd watched that video, another video popped up from it's called the Fighter Pilot Podcast. I have to share this because if anyone has any interest in planes, it's a YouTube podcast. I want to make sure I have this channel right because it's really interesting. It's called the Fighter Pilot Podcast, right? So it's a YouTube. This guy's an ex Top Gun fighter pilot, and at the moment they're doing a Top Gun month. So the video that popped up was, 3 ex Top Gun fighter pilots react to Top Gun Maverick. So they're out of the cinema, they've already seen it, and they're talking about it. One of the guys' quotes was, 90% of the stuff on the screen there I have done in the Super Hornet. Wow. So I was kind of going, all right, this is grand. Look, I'll go for my run. I'll listen to this through my run. It's just kind of get me out. And then from there, I listened to the next one. He was interviewing this guy called that's Captain Ferguson, something Ferguson. He is the guy, the Navy representative who worked on the film to make sure that safety first and no planes crash or get damaged, but also that the Navy are represented correctly. So there's that bit of your representation of the Navy. They didn't want anything questionable, and with top secret, didn't want anything getting out and stuff like that. So interesting, like. But it went from I don't really want to get up and do this to like, right, I've done run done, gym done, feeling good, and just a really, really good podcast. I'm definitely gonna reference that today. So just from that 6-minute clip was like changed the course of my day.
Oh, that's nice to hear. Thank you.
I would have had a lazy day otherwise, but the big nerdy oaf. And there's nothing wrong with having a lazy day, but I just I didn't want to have a lazy day today. Not at all. Yeah. So on those lazy days, I usually have some of my best workouts. Yeah, you go in and you just things are good. Yeah, and it was good. Such a good movie, better than the first, in my opinion. A lot of people are saying it does definitely beat. Have to say, I loved your reaction to the Black Panther trailer yesterday on the show. I'm with you. Didn't have a clue. I absolutely didn't have a clue, and I like that because I think maybe my expectations might be a bit lower or something because I know there's a lot of pressure on this film, but it was tonally good. Shane, don't kill me. I haven't seen Top Gun. Listen, it's been parodied for the last 30 years. You know the case.
Yeah, I was going to say that. You don't want to watch. No, you watch that. If you've seen Hot Shots Part 2, don't watch it now. Yeah,
it's been 36, but it's how they do it. Not long home, heading off now. Enjoy the stream. Yeah, thank you very much, Dion.
Cheers, Dion. Thanks,
it's rare when a sequel is better. I don't know. Empire Strikes Back, The Dark Knight, Terminator 2. You're talking Aliens. I would argue Aliens is better.
100% Aliens, yeah.
But he's right though. It is rare. See Orion by Dion. Haven't watched it yet, unfortunately. I'm the same. Film first fan. Have you seen Everything Everywhere All at Once? I think someone spoke to me about that. I think someone recommended that to me.
Someone's recommended it to me as well. I started to watch it, but the copy that I got on streaming wasn't ideal, so I want to watch it properly in full HD.
I want to watch that, yeah. And
short rounds in that, from Indiana Jones.
Who?
Short round, from Temple of Doom.
I'm not actually the biggest Indiana Jones fan, would you believe? I've
seen
he's in it. The multiple times, but I have to go back and watch it.
Okay.
Cool. It would be better except no volleyball. It got knocked down to 2 full points. He didn't like the football. That's hilarious. Maverick is the best movie this year. I have to agree with you. I actually think I preferred it to the Batman, which is crazy. Now, if the Dark Knight had been released this year, nah. Where's my playing with them boys? I haven't. I didn't get the clip of the volleyball or the beach ball.
Yeah, you didn't want to have that as a soundtrack, did you? When you were running today?
No. Rich's beard and mustache are outstanding. You got a fan here.
Very much. Thank you.
What's your guys' definition of real cinema? I think.
Can I go?
For me, you go. Go on. I have a response, but go on.
Great storytelling, done well.
Yeah.
And for me, I don't want to step on your point in any way, but I think there's nothing wrong with a popcorn movie. There's nothing wrong with CGI. There's nothing wrong with MCU or anything like that. But I personally think it's got to have an amazing story, a script, and the acting. The acting has to be spot on. And I think sometimes there's too many quips. There's not enough emotion. Prime example with Love and Thunder, Christian Bale brought his all and was unbelievable acting, but the film he was in, it was completely different to the one I think he signed up for, because he was in it and he was like acting his ass off, and everyone else was acting all silly. And I think if the film would have been at a similar level to his acting talent, I think it would have been an amazing film. But I think to answer your question, great stories told well with love and attention, rather than just churning them out. You go ahead.
I'd agree with everything you said. Another thing I'll say, there's two simple points I'm going to make before we move on. One, I have to care about the characters. The sequels, I cared about none of the characters.
Yeah.
None of them. The Star Wars sequels. None of them. Didn't care if they lived or died, because I don't think they were set up well. Didn't care about the characters. A lot of the Marvel movies of late, didn't care about the characters. And I do think that's a bit of a failure on how the story is told. Second thing is, in terms of the actual word real, I'm going to take that literally. Christopher Nolan, I remember reading before, has this thing where if something can be shot without CGI, they do it. In The Dark Knight, they flipped that truck. Mm-hmm. They flipped that truck in Chicago. In The Dark Knight Rises, I could have the location wrong, but the point is correct. I think they filmed the football scene in Pittsburgh, I think. Because it was the Gotham Wildcats, whatever they called, have that bumblebee black and yellow, and I believe the Pittsburgh Steelers, or I think the correct way of pronouncing it is the Stillers. How about them Stillers? I think that's the Stillers. That's the way they pronounce them. Someone told me that once. They have a black and yellow jersey. I think they were invited to come down as extras, and then they just obviously, took shots and cloned them and using CGI, of course, but. I need that real feel as well. Like with the Jets and Maverick, the pilots, the actors were in the planes. If you see a jet, it's real. It might have been changed by CGI or enhanced, but it's real. I love that actual things are, like when you say tangible, I mean you just feel you can reach out and touch them. Sometimes I get lost with CGI. So we're going to go into the future now. Often this has to be, sometimes it's kind of like the hardest part. So I'm going to ask you a few warm-up questions. Do you see yourself collecting in 5 years' time?
Yes.
10 years' time?
Yes.
In some capacity for the rest of your life?
In some way, yes.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about your pre-orders, and I want you to talk about the direction or the vision, pun intended, for your collection over the next few years. So
I've started streamlining my collection quite a bit. There's no secret on here that I love my DC, and that's where I've always kind of circled back to. I dipped my toe in a lot of Star Wars at a point where I collected a lot of stuff because I followed a lot of the hype. Everyone was collecting Star Wars. I was like, I've got to get on that. And I did a couple of Mandos. I've got the Mando, I've got the Durasteel, I've got the Beskar, and obviously I've got those quarter scales. But then I kind of stopped, because I was like, I only care about the original trilogy and Han Solo from Force Awakens. So I collected those. True. So the only one I've got from the sequels is Han Solo from Force Awakens. And so I've started focusing more on the pieces that I will love, not just the ones that'd be nice to have. So for example, I've got these Justice League ones here. I'm going to get the Cyborg, but that's it. I'm not going to get the Flash because Ezra Miller. No. I'll wait for the Aquaman to see if he does the stealth suit, which looks pretty cool. It depends on the film. If the film's good, I'll collect it. But if I'm not just going to get it for the sake. On the stream that you and I on Collecting Lounge, I'm always positive. I always assume positive intent with these things because they're always really nice pieces of art or nice pieces of collecting. They're great to have, but not necessarily something that I would buy. And I'm being more selective with what I'm buying now, and things that I truly love, I'm going to buy. So, for example, at the moment, on my pre-orders, with Sideshow, I have the DX19, I have Captain America from Endgame. I have Thor from Endgame, which I think I might cancel, to be honest. I'm not 100% sure. I might just go with the Love and Thunder version, even though the film's garbage. I want him because he looks better in that.
Looks like a stronger figure.
Yeah, it looks like a stronger figure. I only got those because they had like the 20% off code. So I thought, I'll get them. I put on payment plan and I'll do that. But I've also, and I will get the name of it because it's something that I have always wanted. And they recently, it's not Sideshow that are doing it, but it's via Sideshow, which I will show you 1 second. I'm going on to my orders right now. And it is the 1989, surprise, life-size cowl made by Pure Arts.
I've seen it, yeah.
So that's what I've got ordered. So
does that come with a stand?
It does. Because of the stand, there's the one if you go via Pure Arts, you get the battering ram with it, which I haven't done, so I wanted to do a payment plan, and it's released like next year. So I'm going to have that. This house isn't forever. We're gonna get a bigger house in the next few years. That's what we're aiming to do. So I'm hoping to get an actual room where I can put my art prints. I've got loads of Alex Ross prints, like huge signed Alex Ross pieces of art that I've got that I'm going to display with a lot of my figures. And I'm also going to be starting to get more and more Prime ones. So I'm going to be more selective. So I'm going to get all the Batman hot toys. So the one with the bike, the one with the bat signal. I'm going to get the 89 one when they release. I'm going to get maybe the Batman Forever. I'll just get Batman, not Robin. The little things like that, which I'm going to get a lot of DC. But also as well, if there's something like a really cool Captain America, for example, or a really cool Iron Man, I want to get the Battle Damage 85 still. I want to get like one-off pieces of things that I love rather than just getting things for the sake. And like I've got 15, which is a commendable amount, but I want to increase that for pieces that I love. And I want to look at it and go, every single one of these things I could take with me and not sell because I've been so used to selling stuff. I want to be able to love more of the things that I own. And so getting these ones out today, like, okay, I've got them out now. I love these pieces. I'm keeping them. But like with like the Joker and the Mime Joker and the H9 Batman and the Batman Returns one and stuff like that, those are the ones that really mean a lot to me. To answer your question, I don't have the Adam West Batman. I saw there was a Burt Ward Robin for very cheap on the UK groups, for like 120 quid. But I don't want to get that without getting Adam West. And I don't think they'll ever release it, to be honest.
You need to do them.
Yeah, so I'm going to do more 1/6, but be more selective. And I'll get a couple of vehicles here and there. I might get the DeLorean. Again, depends on space. But I'm going to get more Prime ones because I really like these a lot. And I think if I love a film like The Batman, I'm going to get that, definitely. So I think
it sounds like you have a pretty clear vision for where you want to take the collection. And it's absolutely necessary as well. So thanks very much for being here. We're not going to let you go just yet. I definitely have 2 more questions that I want to ask you. So we're definitely going to...
I'm having a blast, by the way. Thank you so much.
Pardon? I don't know. Same, man. It's
Thank you,
these conversations it's where you kind of get to know the collector really, like as much as I love the live streams, like so one of the Grail to get Adam West Batman. I think there's definitely, you're not alone there. So we discussed the past, the present, and the future, and now I've got 2 more focus questions left for him. So the first one is this could be a very simple one. What's the number 1 figure that Hot Toys have released in the past that you want but you don't have, but you also don't think they're going to reissue? So basically, what are you after that they have done it but you don't think they're going to reissue, but you want it?
I'd really like an Arnie from Terminator 2.
Yeah,
I'd like that. Either version. But I think the clean version with the flower box and the shotgun in it and all that, it's just got so much nostalgia behind that. That was a film that you were saying about watching stuff over and over again. We would watch that all the time, and it
holds up. It just 100%. Holds up so well.
One of the best action films of all time.
They don't make science fiction films like that anymore. And again, going back to the question we asked about what's real, even though it's like it's so long ago. I know some of the CGI doesn't necessarily hold up if you want to go frame by frame, but see when they drove that truck off the. Is it the? I don't even. Is it the overpass or something? That there's a word for it. It's like a drain or something. There's a word for that. That
it's
thing.
The LA flood drains or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, that was amazing. And I saw how they did that. They had the driver, but he had to be suspended because the impact would like break his spine or something. Like he was in a harness. But stuff like that. Like I know they're still doing it sometimes, but that's what I like about Christopher Nolan's filmmaking. They still do things like that crazy stuff that they did in the past that gives it that real feel. But
you just gotta look at it in Inception as well. Yeah. What they did with that, like that kind of action. If he did a Bond film like that, I'd be all day. It'd be perfect. It would be perfect.
Because it gives you the brain candy and it gives you like the eye candy. It gives you the action. But also there's that kind of makes you think as well. I like a film that I have to watch a few times. Like I know Tenet, a lot of people didn't like it. I loved it. I had to watch it several times to kind of piece it together.
I had to watch it on subtitles the second time round, and I enjoyed it a lot more. Simply because there's obviously Nolan's got a bit of problems sometimes with the volume of his stuff. And
the quiet scenes are quiet, and then the loud scenes are really loud. It's how it's mastered.
Sometimes it's the score's too loud and the speaking is. So that's my answer on that one. I think it'd be nice to get an Arnie. I think it'll look really cool.
Yeah, cool. And we still have one more left for you. You're not getting away that easy. This is the final one. So the final question for you is what are your 3 fire figures? So very quickly going to say hello to Big Bretta. So hey guys, I'm watching this live from the beginning. Just want to address the Nicholson likeness you talked. I was told the likeness rights were lost, but that doesn't mean they can't get it back. Great show, thank you. And like in Joao we trust. Like a lot of people say a lot of things, but if Joao says, I'll be like, yeah, you must have. I believe it. But yeah, he's right. They could get it back. But I suppose, like you said, Joao, I'd say with Jack Nicholson, nothing comes for free at this stage. But thanks very much for watching. Really appreciate you watching from the start and catching us live or wherever you're watching it, wherever. Thank you. He's a good friend of mine. Practical effects always beat CGI for me. Absolutely. So, Rich, hypothetically, what are your 3 fire figures? If the house goes on fire, what 3 figures are coming with you? Assuming this will never happen. I hope this never happens to anyone. If it does, just run out the door. So what are the 3 1/6 scale? They have to be 1/6 scale. That's the caveat here.
Okay, so my 1/6 scale would be my DX with the 1989 Batman. I forgot which DX it is. That one.
9, DX9.
Yeah, 9. And then the Joker, the purple suit Joker from 89. Is that the 8 or 9?
Yep.
Yeah. And then the mime one. Yeah, and then the mime one as well, because I love that one. It's really
and that makes sense. Because if that was your collection from the start, it would still be nearly a full line. Like
exactly,
yeah. It's beautiful. So you've got the 8, 9 and the mime. Yeah. So
I like that.
At this stage, really just have to say thank you. I really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much.
And what's coming up on your channel?
Well, I'm going to be off for a week. I'm going on holiday with my family. But when I get back, I'm going to hopefully appear on more streams. Hopefully I'm going to welcome back to the Collector's Lounge on a Sunday. I love that. It's one of my highlights of my week. I'm going to be doing
no doubt
more...
you'll be let back. You'll be let back. I have a feeling you're there for you're part of the furniture now. I have a feeling.
I bloody hope so. I hope I get my name on the thumbnail. That'd be nice one day.
There you go. That's the dream.
You know you're in concrete then. But for me on the channel, I'm going to be doing more movie reviews, I'm going to try and learn how to do a bit more, not so much trailer reactions, but kind of discussing the film events of, say what happened with the Ezra Miller situation and things like that. I know a lot of stuff, and sometimes I don't know how else to really put it out, but just to talk to someone on camera about it. So I'm going to do more things like that. And I'm going to go back to my collection, and I'm going to just review everything that I've got individually. And so whether it be an old school Dark Knight figure or the 89 Batman or the mime or all those things, I'm going to go through my collection one by one, very similar to what Cam's doing, and just get out of storage, do a review on it, put it back in storage, and then just keep doing stuff like that. Just really pumping out the content, but not too much. I want to do it. I want to do it sparingly, but with enough production value and trying to do enough love behind it, because I don't want to feel like it's a job. I want to feel like
I get you.
I love doing it as an outlet. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing. And so I have 2 Instagrams. One's just reviews with Rich, which is just film related stuff, and then my collectibles reviews with Rich is purely collectibles and hot toys and Prime 1 and all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, that's what we're doing more and more of.
Excellent. Well, thanks very much for joining us. Folks, if you haven't followed Reviews with Rich on YouTube, go over here, click that subscribe button, and also at collectibles_reviews_with_Rich on Instagram. So this is going to be short because there's absolutely nothing coming off of my channel. I have nothing scheduled for the first time in a long time. I have no Visions episode scheduled. I know Will Fox Vacation is scheduled, but it's going to be like a Sunday in August, so it's still about 2 weeks away. So yeah, there's nothing coming off my channel. Now I might drop like 6 or 7 videos tomorrow, who knows, but at the moment I just want to give a count. What are we on? So we're on 981. I'm 19 subs away from the big 1K. So I suppose at this point in time, I just want to recognize everyone who's clicked that sub button. I mean, anyone who's ever watched any of the videos, liked any of the videos, hit the subscribe button, left a comment, allowed me to be on their live stream, join one of my live streams, engaged in the chat, asked a question, answered a question, posted a comment, followed me on Instagram. Doesn't really make a difference. I'm happy about it all. Solid Sport. There are 30 in the chat at the moment. If anyone there has not hit that subscribe button, please do so. It's free, and you'll never miss a video. So I suppose at this stage, I'm good to go. You good to go?
I'm good to go. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Please hit that like button, subscribe.
We've got to do it. We got to take you out, folks.